What's up, guys? It's Richie Rich back yet again, and this time I'm bringing you a vid on the World Cup 2018 that's going to be hosted by Russia. Be sure to check this out. So, the World Cup 2018 is finally upon us. Who would have thought after the fantastic and sensational World Cup that was held in Brazil? Time has flown by. We've got a new president in the White House. But we're now here with the next World Cup that is now being held in Russia. It's actually a big thing, the World Cup, especially to me, because I got into soccer, aka football, because of the World Cup. And the first World Cup that was introduced to me, the first World Cup that I ever saw was the one that was held in Korea in 2002. Yeah, this was the World Cup that South Korea, it was held in Asia. I think it may have been the first time it was held in Asia, and South Korea, who was managed by Gus Hiddink, they were able to go all the way to the semi-final, which was unheard of, because I don't know where South Korea were listed in the world FIFA rankings, but they managed to climb up and achieve mission impossible and went to the semi-finals of the World Cup. And it was such a great tournament. It was the first time I saw these players for the first time, like David Beckham, Steven Gerrard, Ronaldo, what's his name, Michael Ballack, Oliver Kahn, the legends back in the day in 2002, and I remember the match that always stuck into my head was the England versus Brazil game, the one where Brazil were able to overcome a one goal lead from England and beat them 2-1 with that fantastic free kick from Ronaldinho. He stole the game, you know what I mean? But yeah, that was an excellent World Cup, and it was due to that World Cup in 2002, because I remember at that time I was still in secondary school / high school. Because of the World Cup, I got into football. I became an Arsenal fan. I was a big fan of the player Thierry Henry, who's still my favorite player to this day. Maybe Ronaldo's the thing, but I'll touch on CR7 later. But because of the World Cup in 2002, I became a Gunner. Yeah, so I found my love and passion for football with the first World Cup, which I'm guessing a lot of people do, because it's such a worldwide event that people don't even watch soccer or watch football. They will take time to, watch the soccer, see what it's all about, and it's because I watched the 2002, I followed Arsenal religiously, bought the shirts, bought the jerseys, followed them. And because Arsenal at the time had a lot of the French influenced players from OG Arsene Wenger, I became more of a France fan. I never ever was a fan of the England team, and it was for two reasons. With England, I always felt that player-wise, they've always been good enough to win the tournaments. But I think they lack that kind of flair and that kind of skills that South American teams had, or even a France. I don't think they ever had a great 10 out of 10 player. Like France had Thierry Henry, Zidane, Brazil had Ronaldo, Ronaldinho, Rivaldo, legends, Whereas England, I think the only closest player who comes to that legendary status is probably David Beckham. And, as good as Beckham is, he's more star than actually how technically he is good on the football pitch, if you feel what I'm saying. So I think that's what England have lacked, and still even lack today, is that 10 out of 10. Rooney's good. Rooney's definitely, he was definitely an exception, and obviously Gascoigne back in the day. But again, comparing Gaza and Rooney to a Maradona or Pele, and these are teams that have won the World Cup and are dominant forces in the world of football today. I think England have just always lacked that personnel, that superstar player, so I never ever got attracted to England. Even when the first World Cup came on, I was supporting France, and even when Brazil won it, I was like, hey, But as I watched the tournaments, even the Euros in betweens, I watched the World Cup 2006. I was supporting France and they made it to the final, which I was happy. But I never ever was a fan of England, man. I'd be lying if I said I did. It would be cool, like I said, if they would get to the final. But it's like once you see them actually play, you can kind of see they lack that. When they're playing these teams, because Brazil and these teams like in South America and even like the African teams, they're very exotic places. So, I mean, these lot are playing football every day, man. Like, they're doing stuff that no one's even seen. It's these, like, different random skills that couldn't even just... I mean, they made FIFA Street game based on Ronaldinho. And these are skills he was probably playing with, like, a 7-Up can in the streets of Rio de Janeiro. And they made a game of him, I think England have always lacked that. So like I never really was a fan of England. Like the 2006 World Cup wasn't really great. Germany, what was it? Not Germany won it. Italy won it. I mean, France going to the final was a big achievement. I really followed them, but definitely the World Cup after, it really got me back into that world. I can say like because I really fell off with Arsenal then. I mean, like how they were messing up in the league. I started to drift away. My best player left, Henry, went to Barcelona. So I started to drift out of football. But with the World Cup in 2010, first time ever in Africa, I was so excited for the 2010 World Cup. And what was really nice with the 2010 World Cup, it was somewhere exotic and it was different. You know what I mean? As you've seen with a lot of World Cups that have been hosted, it's always in Europe. You know what I mean? I've always felt the World Cup, and I know a lot of people can agree with me with this as well. The World Cup should be held in different continents. It's the World Cup, not the European Cup. So like for it to be the first time in Africa, and the World Cup started in the early 1930s. It's a joke. You know what I mean? And like, it's not even been in Australasia. I think it's been a couple times in Asia. And then one in USA, but it just seems to always be in Europe and Europe and Europe. So, when it got put in Africa, I was like, thank the Lord, something different. You know what I mean? And like, it went to South Africa, which is cool. That was the only place that could put the stadiums in there now. But like, it was just nice seeing just enough of like, a different kind of culture setting for the World Cup, because, we were so used to seeing it in Germany, Poland, France, Italy, Spain, it just travels around Europe and you're saying it's a World Cup, which I just never agreed with. And yeah, I mean, the World Cup 2010, like, it was a big shame because, like, a lot of African teams qualified and definitely, hands down, Ghana were definitely the strongest team. And, unfortunately, they couldn't make it to the final just because of that, Suarez's hand of God, the second hand of God in World Cup history, and I love Suarez. He was definitely one of the new like emerging stars that were, that came out of that World Cup, but man, of all the times they had to do that, man, that could have been the first African team in the semi-final. You know what I mean? And I think with all that that whole country uplifting them, you never know, they could have even gone to the final, because I honestly don't think Spain or Holland, that final wasn't really great anyway, in my opinion, and I feel like with Ghana, just with that whole continent behind them, they could have done great things, so, but it was definitely a great, great World Cup. Then to equally follow the excellent World Cup in 2010, the next one was in Brazil, which I even get goosebumps even talking about the Brazil World Cup, to go from Africa to South America, it was just amazing that they put it there after it, because Brazil is such a footballing, country, I mean, the legends like Pele, Romario, Zico, Ronaldo, Roberto Carlos, Ronaldinho, Neymar, what I mean, it's rich in history with soccer, what I mean, so it makes sense to put it in there, what I mean, and the 2014 one, which everyone knows the player of the tournament was definitely Rodriguez who plays currently from Real Madrid, but the games there was just so amazing. A lot of people say like that's the best World Cup so far, and I don't disagree. The only problem I had was with the winner, what I mean. I really wanted Argentina to win it, what I mean, because I wanted because I still think with the Messi Maradona thing, I think Messi can only go down as the greatest player ever if he wins the World Cup. You know, he can win all this stuff for Barcelona and that, you know, at club level, but it's the world stage. And Pele demonstrated on the world stage. Maradona demonstrated on the world stage. You know, I just don't think all those trophies he's won for Barcelona can count. You can't still put him in the same league as a Pele or Maradona, you know. So, like, I really wanted him to win it in 2014, and he didn't. And that sucked, man. So, yeah, man, that was just the only bummer of that tournament. But, like, it was just amazing seeing, like, some great games, like, you know, Holland getting revenge on Spain after their World Cup defeat in 2010. You know, the the way Uruguay and Italy smacked England out, you know, it was just amazing and that. But, yeah, you know, it was definitely a great tournament. I just love it just being in these tropical places, you know. I just love these, you know, World Cup being like in... I really wish it could go to more places in South America, or more in Africa, or even Australasia, you know. Just stop this whole thing of putting in Europe, which leads me on to this World Cup, you know. It's just that when I heard it got put in Russia, you know, I was like, man, and it's no disrespect to Russia or anything. It's just when I look at football, you know, if you look at it in the world, the most footballing countries slash soccer like areas in the world is definitely Great Britain, Africa, and South America. You know what I mean? If you're gonna award a footballing World Cup tournament to any place, it should be one of the three, because they treat football as a religion. Over in the UK, back papers, it's about footballing. Africa the same, South America the same. You know what I mean. But it's like when it says like it's gonna be in Russia, I'm like, you know, it's not really the biggest footballing state, you know. And if you look at it, you know, I know that it's gone to Germany a couple more times. It's been to other European countries a couple times, more than once, on more occasions than one. And England have only had the World Cup since 1966, which they won. So I was really like, you know, even though I don't think England are that great to, you know, obviously win it, but still, man, I mean, they treat footballing as, you know, Mecca over here. So to not award it to them and put it in Russia, just like, you know what I mean? It's like, I'm obviously going to watch the World Cup because I'm still a big fan, but I'm not going to lie to say just putting it in Russia, the climate there, you know, with what, you know what I mean? You know how, just being real, people who look like me being there in that place, you know, it's just to put like a World Cup for the whole world to see it there. You know what I mean? I just don't see the reason is. I know it's a business, and obviously money, you know, money talks, you know, and money had to lead into this decision of them, you know, granting them this World Cup, you know, for here. But, you know, it's like, you know, I don't know, maybe I'll get proved wrong. Maybe this will be the best tournament there, but, you know, honestly, from a neutral, I just don't see anything good. But who knows? I could be proved wrong. But yeah, man, what I would love to see in this World Cup, you know, in my personal thing, I would love, you know, because no one ever expected Portugal to win the Euros, which was the last tournament 2 years ago. They were like the least favorites to win it, you know, and they did it. You know what I mean? And, you know, like my current favorite player is Cristiano Ronaldo. You know, I think he's the man. You know, for me, he took the mantle of Thierry Henry. You know, he's like as the main, you know, greatest footballing player. You know, and I really think like if he wants to get put in history, this could be like his last chance, because he's now approaching mid-30s now. He won't be able to do this forever. So, you know, I really want like Portugal to win it. You know, do the double, man. You know what I mean? Like get the Euro and get the World Cup. You know what I mean? I'm really hoping like Ronaldo is just going to be like so focused, because he just won the Champions League not too long ago. He really puts his heart and soul into this and treats this like this could be the last time I can be in a World Cup stage. So my heart is like going to Portugal, man. Like, you know, I don't think they'll win it. I still think it may be like a Germany, you know, because like I said, they're so robotic in this tournament. They know how to win the World Cup even before it started. You know what I mean? Like they're the ultimate strategists, you know. So like I kind of already tipped them to winning, but my heart like wants them for Portugal. I would want England to win, but it's just like, I'm always like a realist, and I know, I mean, England got knocked out by Iceland last World Cup, and that's saying a lot, man. So, I think with them, England's biggest problem is they overthink the tournaments too much. They walk in there on eggshells, they're afraid to rock the boat. If you don't believe me, just check that game against Uruguay. They were so petrified of Suarez, and even the Italy game, they were totally terrified of what's his name, Pirlo, that they were afraid to even play their own game. You know what I mean? They were more worried about the opposition than their own self. You know what I mean? So I've always figured England are like just, scaredy cats. You know what I mean? They're not willing to like just say, let's just go there. You play, I play. You know what I mean? Let's just win this tournament. You know what I mean? So I don't really tip them. You know what I mean? Obviously, like Brazil and Argentina, with Neymar and Messi, it's a thing. But again, as we've seen with Argentina, even though Messi's there, Messi is a complete different player when he's with Barcelona than he is to Argentina. I think with Argentina at Barcelona, he's like the grand poobah. Everyone's feeding him the ball at the right time. No one gets his way. But Argentina, they're not obviously technically gifted as like that. Ferris wheel ride they got at the new camp. Where all this fantasy can happen at new camp, scoring goals, 10 goals a game, 8 goals a game. That happens. But with Argentina, you can even see Messi has to work way more harder. Which he's obviously not used to in, Barcelona, because everything's done for him. He's just got to finish it off. But Argentina, it's like he's got to, pull his socks up and do more work. So, I've always felt like even them, even like you saw it, like when Germany got a hold of Argentina, they knocked them out. They knocked them out even in the 2010 one. And Brazil, they got lost 7-1. What was it, 7-1 to Germany? You know what I mean? It's just that Germany, I feel like Germany are just the most adept when it comes to these tournaments, man. Their minimum is semi-finals, They don't get overhyped by this world looking in them. It's like they come in with professionals like a job to do, a mission to complete. So I would not be surprised if they just win it again, man. You know what I mean? And especially with the, it being in Russia, it definitely suits them better, because I always felt like, like when the tournament was in Brazil, when Germany faced Ghana, you could tell Ghana ruffled Germany's feathers because just the climate, the temperature, and Ghana, who's like a kind of team like you don't really know what to expect, what they're going to do, Germany couldn't actually they luckily escaped that match for a draw. But I think it being in Russia, it almost feels like it's going to be in Germany. Like it feels like it's taking place in Germany. I really think it's kind of like this home field advantage for them. You know what I mean? So, yeah, I would not be surprised. I definitely think they were gonna win it. My heart says Portugal. Let Cristiano Ronaldo. Cristiano win it. Go down as the best player of all time. But yeah, with one day, one day going towards it tomorrow. I just think, here's one thing I would like to see. Yeah, one thing I would love to see is just like a new player just being discovered or emerged, because that's one good thing with these World Cup tournaments, in the 2010 World Cup, it was the first time everyone saw Suarez for the first time, and, he's now one of the most best strikers, regarded as one of the critical, strikers of the world. Then in the 2014 Brazil World Cup, it was Rodriguez from Colombia, became the star of the tournament, and there's a few others here and there, but I'm just willing that another guy will come up in this World Cup and take the tournament, to the stratosphere, so that's what I'm definitely looking for. But man, I'd be lying if I saying I'm excited, because I always felt like the other tournaments, like in Brazil, they were advertising the World Cup matches way before, in early January about World Cup, you saw all these, the country getting ready, Brazilians, I know this because I used to train in capoeira, the Brazilian martial arts art form. So I would see in Brazil and Rio de Janeiro how they were preparing for the World Cup Carnival, it got treated like as a big, celebration of the World Cup's here. Fast forward to now in Russia, it's just like, man, I don't even know. I'm like, there's a World Cup that's gonna be here, you know what I mean? There's no like atmosphere, there's no flavor. It's just like, you know, it's a World Cup, let's just see let's just see where these teams go, then it'll be over, man. It's just, you know what I mean? It's like I said, something seriously is gonna have to happen for, like for me to really like watch these matches. I'm gonna watch obviously the opening game tomorrow, but who knows, man? I may get proved wrong. I was wrong about Batfleck, and look what happened in Batman v Superman. You know what I mean? So he shut me up, but from what I'm just looking at, man, I don't have high expectations for this World Cup, man. But only time will tell, man. But yeah, man, thanks for taking time to look at this, watch this quick video on the World Cup. Like not just predictions, like what Richie Rich thinks about it. Like I said, I think Germany's gonna win it. Muller will probably be top goal scorer. I don't know, but I want Portugal to win it for Cristiano Ronaldo. Yeah, man. I just think like yeah, I was gonna say France, but either France or Portugal, I'm cool with that. You know what I mean? Just something different. It's like as I know Germany's gonna win it. They're so used to going finals, man. How much World Cup gold medals do you need, man? Give a dog a bone. You know what I mean? But yeah, that's just my take on like what I expect to see what's happen. If anyone's gonna be tuning on to the World Cup, just drop your comments in this section below. Let me know, your predictions. What you think's gonna happen and that. You know what I mean? But yeah, man. This is Richie Rich signing off. Peace to finger.